Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I was going to do a quick birth story for Logan here. He's currently 8 weeks and 1 day old today. It is the 11th of October. Yes. And Logan was born at 6:34 in the morning on the 16th of August 2020. My pregnancy with Logan was full of most downs, not a lot of ups. I was vomiting from 6 weeks. I had reflux. I basically had every pregnancy symptom. I had it very rough, mostly because I was working full-time at the time. I have Lucas, who's 2 years old. I was traveling 3-hour round trip to work every day, which I'm luckily my husband works with me, so I was able to get someone to drive me home at night. It wasn't until the night before, so the night of the 14th of August, I woke up at 1:30 in the morning and just didn't feel right. The pain was bad and I did feel like I was in labour. So I called the hospital and they just said sort of monitor it and see how I felt. So the next night I woke up at the same time, about 1:30, not feeling the best, on and off the toilet, just not feeling right. Logan's movements, he was still kicking just fine, no issues. It was more that I didn't feel right. It wasn't until 2 minutes to 4 I rang the hospital and just explained that I still didn't feel right. And my contractions were only 5 to 10 minutes apart, but they were quite painful. I hung up with the hospital and sort of just sat in the front room for a minute. I was sitting on my phone just timing my contractions, which were still 5 to 10 minutes apart. It was dead on 4 a.m. I got a slight contraction and my water broke, and I haven't had my water break because I was induced with my first, so it was a bit of a sensation. I felt the pop inside me, which was odd, and I just knew straight away the next contraction was really painful. So I ran into our bedroom and got my husband up, and who actually said to me, "Are you sure?" while I was writhing in pain. I got him out of bed. We got to the hospital. I was lucky my contractions were still 5 to 10 minutes apart, so it was odd to be in so much pain and in full labour with contractions that weren't so close. I got to the hospital and I'd only had two contractions on the way to the hospital, which our hospital is about 20 minutes away. And then as I was walking to the emergency room, because at that time in the morning we have to go through the emergency department. That's real life. So they took me through. My husband quickly parked the car. Luckily, Mountain was parking at that time in the morning. Once I got in there, I had one more contraction before I got onto the bed. They then checked me and I was 6 centimeters. By then I was just sort of contracting. They were increasing and they were hurting more, as they do. It got to just before 6 o'clock in the morning and I knew that there wasn't long to go because I felt Logan drop, and basically the pain's indescribable because it just went from nothing to something in 5 seconds flat. It was excruciatingly painful, and the midwife had said that they were changing shifts soon, and we all had a little bet that I would definitely have Logan before, and we were all betting on a time. I was saying between 6:15 and 6:45 in the morning. Had to be then because I really wanted my midwife to stay with me. She was absolutely lovely. And Lucas, I felt, was very easy birth. He was only 5'9", so 2.7 kilos. He was nothing, and he came out in one push, the whole thing. Logan was 3.7 kilos. He was a lot harder to push out. I pushed him out in about 4 to 5 pushes, but it was a lot more painful than Lucas, who came out basically in one push. The whole body came out. I had to birth, like a normal birth, I had to birth his head and then the rest came out. It was a lot harder than what it was with Lucas, so that really sort of solidified I don't want any more kids. And Logan came out at 6:34 in the morning. He had a lot of issues breathing. You could see he was breathing from his stomach, not from his chest. So they took him away to we only have like a little nursery here in our hospital. So he was taken away to the nursery, and the paediatricians came over to see him straight away. My husband went with him, and I surprisingly fell asleep straight after I gave birth to him. I was so tired. I'd been up all morning and hadn't eaten, so I was hungry and tired. So I fell asleep, and my husband woke me up every time he came in just to let me know how Logan was going, but I knew he was okay, and I felt as a mum that he would be fine, so I wasn't too worried. I fell asleep until they came back at about 8 o'clock. They came back to stitch me up because I did tear again like I did with Lucas. So my midwife had come in, who I had met before. She's absolutely beautiful, and they stitched me up. I was able to have a shower, and I was able to have a shower and then walk down to the nursery to see Logan here, and that was about 9:30, 9:45 in the morning. I basically hadn't told anyone that I was in labour or I had Logan, especially my parents. I had only let my husband's parents know, who were staying with us, so they could take care of Lucas when I did go into labour, so they were aware. So about between 9:45 and 10 o'clock in the morning, I finally FaceTimed my mum, who was a bit worried, obviously, because I'm normally up at about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, just chatting to her and letting her know how over it I am. Logan was kept in the nursery until 12 o'clock that day, just to make sure that he was doing well, which he was. He was hitting all his milestones and he was fine. They wanted to keep him in just for a few days, just to monitor his oxygen, so we stayed in till Tuesday morning. I had him Sunday. Yeah, I got released on Tuesday morning and came home. They're both just beautifully natured. So that's Logan's birth story. And this is him. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.